Yeah.
Are we ready?
Not really. I'm going to really struggle here, Kev. I'm just...
Well, I've written
I don't
some
know why.
things. I don't feel much. But
this weekend I've been really sort of... I feel like I've been drugged or something like that.
Oh, it's a weekend. A flake out.
So. But there's no real justification for it. I had a really lazy week. I think it might be something to do with that.
Oh, probably, yeah. But your brain is still... This is the weekend kind of thing,
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate when you get up late and...
That's what we've done both days. Get up late and sort of...
You just feel crap. And
don't get going. You don't do anything. It's
headachy.
The weather's not really good enough to get out in the garden because it's so changeable at the moment. It's like April showers.
It is, yeah.
You get blue sky one second, then it's raining the next.
The rain is nice at the moment, though. I like being out in the rain at the moment, to be honest. I'm enjoying it.
It's good for the garden. John was saying his field, the grass hasn't been growing because it's been so dry.
Goodness me.
So I think we have needed a bit of rain.
That's good then.
To get things going, yeah.
It is recording. That's good. I'm glad that it is recording. I had to check. Okay, so
I'm recording. So this is a Patreon request, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
And I think the guy actually asked us to review all 3 albums.
Oh.
But
Okay.
I think we're doing one, aren't we? Wow. There is an investment thing to it. You had to buy this, didn't you?
Yeah, this was 17.
Yeah. So if we had to buy all 3 albums...
Yeah. This is like an original CD release. Like a first pressing 80s disc. With packed disc on it. I bet there's only one CD pressing of it ever.
Yeah. It's like our patrons have got really fine tastes. Kevin Gilbert last week, and if we were to buy that, it would have been 50 quid or something like that.
Yeah. But although both of these things are things we should do.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But maybe we can revisit these at some point.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah,
fill in the gaps.
And that's probably more interesting than just doing 3 all at once.
Yeah. Actually, we haven't mentioned that. We have had another subscriber. His name is Kevin Lewis. Thank you very much, Kevin Lewis.
Thank you.
I know he's going through all our Pink Floyd reviews at the moment because he's left a few comments on them.
Excellent.
He said, Patreon great, liking the Pink Floyd reviews, thanks. Saw the Pros and Cons tour 1984, it was horrible. Saw Gilmore same year, About Face tour, very good.
Yeah, well he played completely numb, didn't he?
Carmine, how do you spell that piece? Say that?
Carmine Appice.
Yeah, Carmine Appice is the drummer on Dogs of War, uncredited.
Oh, goodness me, didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's Carmine Appice going dun 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 dun. Great. I could have done that for you. I mean, just use a drum machine, it would sound the same. Let's do a review.
Yeah, so we're going to review this, which is a Patreon request.
Yeah.
If you subscribe for $5, you get to request an album.
Dun, 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 dun. It's disappearing. Dun, dun, dun. I don't like that cover. Talk about that in a bit. Yeah, and it is French prog. We're doing French prog, aren't we?
Is it French? I thought they were Canadian.
Are they Canadian? I didn't know. Oh, you're right. Distribué au Canada par Universal Music.
I mean, they're singing French and that, so it may as well be French.
Quebec. Yeah, I didn't realise that at all. Isn't that interesting? Because what I was going to say was, it doesn't sound like magma, does it? But then magma is magma. Nothing else sounds like magma. That's not French prog. Canadian prog. That does make sense, doesn't it? That is interesting.
A little bit, I suppose.
Yeah. French, I should say, because we speak French. We did it for 7 years at school, didn't we? So we're good at French.
Yeah. Le fromage.
Oui.
Le poisson.
Le voyant.
Oui. That's all you need to know.
That's it. Yeah. From that, you can
basically.
Yeah, you could live in French. Live in French. Yeah. I was watching this on YouTube, and I kept getting adverts for Game of Thrones in French.
Really?
Yeah.
wonder if it's more raunchy in France, Game of Thrones.
Perhaps it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyway, this music is post-Trespass music, definitely. But 75. And it's funny, we listen to that and we hear like 72. But it's actually 75, isn't that interesting? Because it doesn't feel... I mean, that's post-Lamb, actually, but it doesn't even feel post-Foxtrot almost. To me, that's post-Trespass stuff, It's the folk-inspired 12-string thing, flutes. I can see how that cover is an attempt to put the music into an image. And I think the sort of inside pictures are better than the actual cover they used, which is sort of... Ugh. 5 tracks. And, the 5th one is a long song. So, the question is, what's the difference between that and Trespass? That's what people would need to know. And it is less song-oriented. It is definitely... it's the textures of it superficially sound like early Genesis, but it's much more the mood music. It's much more about that texture than the songs. Genesis are always about the songs. Even Supper's Ready is about the song, or as a song, is it a medley of songs or whatever it is? And there's a lot more mellotron and hardly any percussion, which I thought was really interesting. You realise there's hardly any on there at all. Maybe simplified. That could be film soundtrack music. It's that kind of thing. There's something in the melodies which sounds more 70s to me, that puts it to the time rather than being prog, being 70s. But there's a cappella vocals. Are they actually a cappella? I can't remember now. I've written a cappella here. I don't know if that's true, but there's some vocals without words that made me think of Mid-Eastern music. Le Cinq Saisons I think that was what it was released elsewhere because the title is ridiculous. The 5 Seasons. So it's you remember the 4 Seasons by Vivaldi. Well, it's Prague now, so it goes up to 5. These go to 5 seasons. The extra season, the secret one. It's definitely successful journey music. It would be great for a long drive if I had anywhere to drive to. So this is not the best time to listen to this. I listen to it while cooking. Oh yeah, the reprise right at the end of the main theme, that's the best bit. That is the moment. The Supper's Ready-esque moment. Eggs is eggs type thing. It's not that much like Supper's Ready, but that, epic reprise is great. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I don't want to say really. It's when I first put it on, I did the same as you. I was cooking when I put it on, and it definitely wasn't as I expected. I saw the covers for, I think it was the previous album. I thought, this is sort of going to be like Can and that type of thing. Cover,
yeah. It looked, yeah.
I was quite pleasantly surprised actually that it was such an easy, light listen. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the first track is Spring, and that's going to be quite light and buoyant and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the long song is very good, and it is quite evocative of the seasons. As you said, no percussion. I don't think there is a drummer, is there?
I don't think there's a drummer. No, there's occasional bits of the maracas type, shaky shaky stuff.
Yeah, so it's very, very light on that, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to imagine making an album without a drummer these days. But then it is quite folky. It is quite folk prog.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like it's particularly missing, and it doesn't feel like it's actually that controversial.
No,
not having a drummer. Yeah. If you told someone, "I'll listen to this," there's no drummer in this, you'd think, "Oh, how are they going to make that work?" But actually,
it's folk in it.
Makes perfect sense, really. Listened to it a few times actually, and it is very sort of mood dependent on whether you're ready for that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I also tried it on Sarah because I thought, okay, this is a different type of thing. Because I was listening to Fracture the other day, Because I was watching this guy saying he's been trying to learn to play Fracture for like 12 years, and he wasn't. So I thought I'll have a listen to it. And Sarah's sort of like, it's this kind of she calls it "slit your wrist" music. Although I don't see it as particularly depressing music, but
this is quite.
I think
isn't it?
No, this is Fracture.
Oh, Fracture. Oh, God, this one.
Yeah, and so I think she sees it as an assault on the senses and quite oppressive. Like, oh God, get me! I want to get away.
Well, it is.
And I thought this is the opposite of that. This is quite light, so see how she gets on with it. And it was all right. You know, she was sort of, it's going to change in a minute, isn't it? We're gonna have like horrible guitars and all sorts of stuff. And it didn't happen, but nevertheless. In the epic, I think I played her about 2/3 of the way through. She was like, "Oh God," she wants to turn it off. It feels very oppressive. I thought it would be sort of like a nice bit of prog for non-progsters, something you could put on that people who aren't into prog would, you know, sort of enjoy as well. And it didn't do that with Sarah for some reason. I don't know. She actually compared it to ABBA at one point, which I thought was interesting. She says, that's just ABBA, isn't it? SOS.
I wonder if... I was going to say, look, in plain face... I don't know how to pronounce that because I'm not French. I'll put here, is it Rocket Man? It made me think of Elton John. It sounded so familiar, but with different words, obviously French words. So perhaps that's what it was. Perhaps it was SOS.
It could be. When she said I wasn't particularly convinced, but then again I was trying to listen to the music. And it had moved on to the next section, which was obviously not ABBA. What are you talking about? She's getting ABBA up on her phone. Anyway,
Bjorn and Benny would have heard this album.
Really?
Yeah. So that's interesting. So
maybe could be. But yeah, actually, it's a nice album to have around, and you are going to be in the mood for that sort of thing sometimes. And you know, it's quite good for that, but it doesn't open my eyes up to a whole load of maybe French progs.
Or Canadian prog.
French prog, folk prog. Maybe I should look for some more folky type prog. Although it's got some really, the piano and the keys I think play quite a prominent role, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
For a bit of music.
Yeah, there's at least one really nice bit of piano in there.
Nice bit of piano. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you want to listen to flutes in prog, you listen to Jethro Tull, don't you?
Yeah.
Really,
or Genesis.
Yeah. Or Genesis. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, a pretty good album. If we were to review 3, I'm going to guess it could get a little bit tiresome.
Yes.
And I think there might only be 3 albums actually.
So we've probably made a good decision.
Yeah.
To perhaps revisit at a later date. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the proper title of the album is Avait, Besoin d'une Cinquième Saison. That's the title. Ooh. And I don't know if I don't think it went out on the video, but last week I did say when I bought it for £17, it's got auto rips. Great, I can listen to it in the kitchen on Alexa. That means I have to tell Alexa to play that album. Impossible. It was just impossible.
Can you say Alexa play Harmonium?
Yeah, play my song. Well, if I say play Harmonium, it'll play whatever it's got by Harmonium. My songs by Harmonium was the best I could get, and what I got was a mix of that in the wrong order.
Oh, right, okay.
So I couldn't get the songs in the right order. I didn't know which one was which.
I'm surprised you've got Alexa, Kev. Isn't it listening to all your secret desires?
It is, yeah. Well, I don't care.
I'll tell you what I did this week. You know, I had an issue listening with the Beatles because one of my speakers wasn't working.
Yeah. Or you had a weird mix version, a fake stereo thing.
Yeah. So I had only one speaker, one side working, and it was a version where the vocals were on one side and everything else on the other. Yeah. Kind of. It really started peeing me off this week because there was stuff. I started to listen to something. I thought, I don't know if I'm missing half of this, and it's been like this for a good few years on my computer.
Goodness me.
So I thought, right, I'm either going to buy some new speakers for my computer, or I'm going to fix it. So I'll try and fix it. If I can't fix it, I'll get some more, and I'll get some decent ones. So I'll get down onto the floor to my subwoofer, look in the back, and the lead to the right-hand speaker had popped out about 5mm. I pushed it back in, problem fixed.
Stereo.
Stereo. After years of not knowing how am I missing various bits of a song.
Goodness me.
Yeah. That's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Which meant I could listen to this quite happy on the computer while working.
Brilliant.
Instead of being in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Cooking music is a different thing. This is not cooking music. This is driving music, I think.
I did use it for cooking. I didn't find it too much of a problem. What was I listening to? I was listening to something in the kitchen, and I suddenly realised the neighbours were hearing as well. And it was something that I thought, oh, they might not like that. It was quite heavy, whatever it was. So I put Harmonium on, and I was quite comfortable that everyone could hear what I was listening to.
It won't annoy anyone. Yeah.
It's probably, probably a mixture. Was it maybe Corn? I was listening to some Corn.
Right,
maybe.
yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how we're second guessing? I mean, I'm sure I do that as well. And when I discovered that actually, even with the window closed, you can hear with music in here outside. You can still hear it. It's a great big 5.1 sound thing going on. And you become aware of that, and you think, well, yeah, there's someone walking past, so I better turn it down.
Well, I just know when if the neighbour's blaring music out and it's like drum and bass or something stupid like that, it's really awful, and I don't want to inflict that on other people. I don't mind people being able to do it as long as they can safely tune out from it. If you're listening to something really atonal or weird, like Nurse with a Wound, I mean, you're inflicting something quite bad on other people there.
I mean,
so you have.
I've had some chainsaw noises in the background of a lot of meetings this week, but that was a real chainsaw outside. Somebody.
You can't. Yeah, you can't help that, can you? Yeah. But yeah, you can inflict Harmonium on other people and not feel too guilty about it.
Yeah, because you have to like folk. Come on. I mean, it does depend. I don't think us as 15 years old, this wouldn't be the accessible, nice thing, because we were turned into rock. So the easy thing will be AC/DC for us. Yeah. But not for the. So it's
Aerosmith.
Yeah, Aerosmith. Yeah, that classic band that we like. Why haven't you reviewed Aerosmith? Come on. They're quite prog. If you really listen, you haven't listened close enough.
Have we ever reviewed Chili Peppers? I'm sure we have, haven't we?
Yes, we did Blood Sugar Sex Magic. Did we, or did we do Californication?
I'm not sure now.
We did one of them. We'll do another one. I think it was Blood Sugar
Chili
Sex
Peppers.
Magic.
We should do. Should have done Aerosmith, surely.
Chili Peppers, there's a lot more going on, a lot more interesting rhythmically than bloody.
Well, I suppose it's more funk.
Yeah, bow.
Rap.
Yeah. And I actually saw the Chili Peppers live.
Did you?
Yeah. Slaying Castle, 2001. Apparently, people say that was the best ever performance in the world. Oh my god! Although the true fans know that it was earlier than that. They were amazing. The ones that weren't recorded were the best concerts. Any band, it's always the best concerts were the ones not recorded.
It attains mythological status.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the French thing. There was occasions when I thought, are they singing in English now? And they're not. It's in French. So the language thing was a thing, which is sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. I find. I mean, a lot of Italian prog, it doesn't matter. I don't know why that is. But here, it was like my brain kept trying to hear what they were saying. which is interesting.
I suppose maybe that's a folk, because it's more folky.
Yeah.
So like Magma, it makes absolutely no difference that they're singing up in a made-up language.
Yeah.
You kind of get a sense of what's going on. And I suppose with Italian prog as well, the words aren't necessarily that important.
Yeah. It was actually an advantage to not know what they were singing.
Whereas with folk, when things get a bit more folky, the words, the lyrics,
words,
it is important.
Yeah. But I don't think you should translate these things. I mean, this feels so luxurious and pleasant and all that stuff, and then you know the big epic at the end, Histoires, sans paroles. It sounds amazing. That's what is it? I think it's stories without words.
All right.
Which is
Lovely.
Stories without words. Pretentious. So yeah, don't translate. Never translate. Bad. Translation bad. I mean, we did 7 years of French at school, didn't we? I mean, I still don't understand. What were we doing for 7 years?
Well, the problem was, when push came to shove, we did this modular crap. And I never learned anything for 2 years. So the final 2 years, when you are earning your grade, whatever, I didn't learn anything because every week was a test.
Oh, right. I don't even remember. I just remember it was just comical. I didn't know anything. It was, there was exchange students who came to the school, and they put these 2 exchange students in with us in our class, thinking that but they'll be able to communicate with them, and it was actually really embarrassing because these kids sat, and we were sort of sat round him, and we were just laughing, we were just giggling, and didn't understand each other, and it was so embarrassing. And we had to get someone else to say, "Can you just tell him? We're not laughing at him. We're laughing because we're useless. We can't speak French." It's just terrible. It's awful. It's actually a running joke with my brother that we pretend to speak French because we can't at all.
I think you'd be surprised if you went to France how much you can pick up.
Really?
Yeah, I think you'll be surprised.
I
always do. Spain, like when we went to Italy. Was it Italy? Because we haven't been to Spain. It must be Italy. No, it's because obviously we're in South America. They speak Spanish.
Oh,
I know very, very, very little Spanish. The only Spanish I ever picked up was when my mum was living over there, and I learnt a few words, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And yet, when they were asking questions, I kind of picked up what they were asking, and Sarah didn't.
Goodness me.
And her family is quite. Her sister did French at university.
Yeah.
Dad's a Latin teacher.
Goodness me.
And fluent French. They used to have a house in France.
Wow.
So they become quite fluent in French. So they're quite language oriented. So and yet, because she'd never done Spanish, she'd never really understood what they're asking, which I managed to do with my very, very limited Spanish. So if you went to France and you started going around, I think you would pick things up. You would sort of like, you wouldn't be able to converse with someone.
Yeah.
But you kind of get what they're asking,
okay.
And you'd be able to say something in response or find something in response.
Oui. Sacre bleu. Baguette du monde.
Mind you, 90% of what they're asking us when we went to France was, do we want chantilly with our ice cream?
Ah.
And the answer is obviously yes.
Having said all of that, silly review, but I mean, I was looking at YouTube comments. People like this album a lot. I hadn't heard this in 25 years. It brought tears to my eyes. The most beautiful music in the world. It is a masterpiece. I used to listen to it with my father, who's no longer here with me, but I'm sure he's still listening to it as the song plays in heaven as background.
I think this just underlines the kind of futility of what we do, Kev. All you can do is be honest and understand that people are just not going to agree with you.
Yeah. But people don't. Well, most people do, obviously. You get people who don't. They say, "How dare you?"
Unless you sort of... I mean, when you stray from the accepted... Because there is an accepted almost narrative about an album / music. And if you stray from it, you are it's basically a lynching, I suppose. Obviously, we don't get enough views for a proper lynching, but I mean, people will strongly disagree with you.
Yeah. I mean, for some reason, I watched our Use Your Illusion review today. And because we'd had a new comment, and the new comment was, "These guys talk shit." Okay. That was it.
Welcome to YouTube.
And that's the end of the review.
Yeah, let's end it there.
I don't have anything else to say. Sorry. Yeah, but I mean, it is prog. It is very much the stuff we do. And it's Canadian. And we're not doing Star Castle. Before you ask, we're not doing Star Castle. Boring.
Unless you pay $5 and ask for it.
Please don't. But this is better than Star Castle. I think this is much more our prog. I think.
Yeah.
4X.
Got a prog. 4X?
Yeah, 4X.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, great suggestion there. If I don't think we're going to do any more Harmonium albums, are we? But if you've got any more you want us to look at, can you remember who it was? Have you written it down?
I don't know. I always miss the names with the. We've got the requests and I've got the names, but not together.
Yeah. Okay. Don't worry. But yeah, if you want anything else, just let us know, and we'll add it to the list. We will have to we can't just endlessly do Patreon reviews because it'll get a little bit disjointed if we do that. But I mean, we're going to do a run of them now, aren't we?
Yeah, there's a whole load lined up, so we've got to do them now.
Yeah. Okay. So next week.
I know. I've got it. Hang on. I will disappear for a moment. Don't look. The browser appears, and then we're on the desktop now with the Wenton ideas file. But I'm back. It's fine. Fairport Convention. We've done Shaming of the True. I think it's Fairport Convention.
So we
need to decide what Fairport Convention.
Okay, we'll decide that, and then we'll be back. We'll be back for then.